Now we would just like to, because it might be hard to get an idea of what we actually do, we would like to present you just a couple of projects that we've been doing lately. One of them was OK Talk, a series of design discussions that we organized, and these design dialogues took place between Helsinki and London. Some of them were organized, or one of them was organized in Helsinki and 3 in London, and all of them had speakers from London and Helsinki, mainly designers or people dealing with design. And this was in Helsinki, and the topic was making places, and we wanted to kind of go to the world of architecture and urban planning without having any architectural background, just we are very, very interested in architecture. And we organized a talk about it and invited some architects that we found most interesting at the moment, working in Helsinki and London, and put them together and
it wasn't only architects, but also designers and artists. Some in the audience, at least, there were politicians as well, and that's what we like to encourage, to get some people from the city involved, for instance.
And I think, one of them was an urban researcher as well, so we wanted to kind of bring in different viewpoints and have them discussing also the different contexts of London and Helsinki, which are so different. And then usually whether we make a discussion event or exhibition, we usually make a edit and produce a publication to go with it. But I'm never the graphic designer for them. We are collaborating with London-based design studio or. And but this is a very important part of our practice, that we always write and make publications.
And in this case, the publication was special in a sense that, the format took inspiration from the events happening in the morning, so it was like a morning paper, like a tabloid format. It functioned not only as a kind of catalogue at the event or providing background information about the speakers beforehand, but also as some kind of a PR tool before, because we wanted to save money. and also it included this dialogue that started actually by us interviewing all the speakers before the events and asking them to make questions to each other, propose questions that were actually presented in the paper, so that the participants to the event guests could have some kind of an idea about what they were going to talk about even before, and also the speakers themselves, and they could answer them at the event. And then we will still make one more publication of the series of events, which will be a book containing both kind of answers to those.
Do you want to talk about this?
Why not? Pretty much related to the OK Talk events is this Clues to Open Helsinki, or that event in particular, which was about making places. Clues to Open Helsinki was something that we did with the Finnish Innovation Fund, which is a operator somewhere in between city. It's governmentally funded actor, which is somewhere in between politics and citizens operating, and they...
Basically, their idea is to make sure that the well-being in Finland, or the kind of like Finland will maintain the well-being of its citizens, so kind of trying to develop Finland in an intelligent way.
Kind of social innovation or such. So basically, we had the idea that that we should imagine a better, more interesting and enjoyable Helsinki, and together with a group of people living in Helsinki, and designers and artists and politicians again, and then we came up with some suggestions, small things that could make Helsinki a better place to live, and targeted in the year 2012, which is the World Design Capital Year for Helsinki. We made a series of postcards from the future of Helsinki, that we're not only presenting the ideas such as, for instance, different areas in the city should have street mayors, people kind of trusted champions, locals who would work towards the interests of people in the area. They would be helped by the government through different means, like organizing taxes in a way that they could actually make something happen. And all these ideas were tested with the professionals in different fields. So we not only dreamt and imagined, but also collaborated with specialists who could tell us what would be the easiest and best way to make them come true.
Yeah, and in this our role was basically to work as concept designers, developing these kind of different ideas with the people, and then work with an illustrator to communicate the ideas. And then let's move on to our kind of main topic today, which is science poems. I don't know if all of you know about this project already. It's a project that will continue even after now that we've finished the book, which is here. We can pass it around for everyone to see. And we also made an exhibition, and the information about the exhibition, the kind of exhibition catalog, is inside this book with other material that we produced. And the idea of science poems was to look at science through design and art, in like very simply put, and to kind of bring out the poetic side of science.
And its multi-sensorial aspects in a way. Yeah,
and through those interpretations to kind of open science up for discussion, to open up the world of science for other professionals and other people to kind of deal with it, because it's obviously such an important, science has such an important implications on all of our lives.
So for us and for anyone who reads it, kind of ways to see and understand some scientific processes, and in this case natural science, better.
It was a very self-initiated project in a sense that the reason why we wanted to do science poems was that we were really interested in science, and we felt that we didn't quite know enough about it. And we decided that, okay, let's do a project and explore science from a perspective that feels kind of familiar to us. And it was a very good excuse for us to kind of study science in an interesting and pleasurable way. And we got a grant for it, so it was an independent project. There was no client except for ourselves. And this is from the exhibition. How many exhibitors did we have?
It was 6.
Yeah, and we kind of used the most traditional categories of natural science. So we would have biology, physics, chemistry,
astronomy,
and 6 of them. And then we picked up six artists and designers and asked them to take one science category and pick a phenomenon that would interest them, and then interpret it and communicate it to the audience in one way or another.
And this was Higgs boson, from the origin of the Large Hadron Collider, so much talked about.
And then, as part of science poems, as I said, we also had many other articles in the book, in addition to the exhibition catalog. And for example, we thought about chemistry, and we were thinking about what would be the best way for us to study chemistry. And since we both really love cooking and food, we are really interested in the world of cooking. We called to a local restaurant that's specialized in molecular cuisine, and we called the chef and asked, like, hi, could we come and make some food with you and kind of like discuss about the chemical aspects of cooking at the same time. And then we went and we prepared ice cream with him, with his like sort of quite, how would I say, chemical methods, or with some methods that were quite familiar from school. We prepared the ice cream with dry ice that was, what was it, like minus 160 Celsius degrees.
And it's actually the what is it? Recipe?
Yeah, the recipe.
Yeah,
you can actually find it in the booklets, and also the story of the making of the ice cream. But this was one way for us to learn about chemistry and also talk about it to other people in a kind of understandable way.
We picked up a couple of meaningful quotes from the book, or some quotes that have acted, or from some people who have acted as an informant in our work in putting up OkDo. And
I think it's this process of interviewing people that we think that are doing really important work in this field between design, art and science. It was a very important learning process for us to go and meet these people and talk with them, and since we felt that they were kind of they had already a lot of experience in this area that we were just kind of like introducing to ourselves.
Should I read it? In an ideal world, everyday life would be so rich, meaningful and challenging that we wouldn't need this separate category called art. I feel that art exists because design has failed. Learning from artists, designers should become bolder, more imaginative and critical.
And this was said to us by Anthony Dunn and Fiona Raby. They are professors in
Design Interactions department at the RCA.
Yeah, and their work is really has kind of challenged our thinking about design a lot. So they basically, I think we talked about this with Julia. That is quite interesting in terms of what she's doing as well. They have some similarities. So basically, they are using design to make questions about society and to the society to kind of question the status quo and make people think through design, to make challenging design, like people often feel that art challenges them and makes them ask questions from themselves, but design could do it as well.
An artist is free to choose whether to be responsible towards the society or not, whereas designers, by definition, are always trying to make things better. And this is a quote by Paola Antonelli, who's the design curator of Museum of Modern Art in New York. And what can we say? It's
yeah,
we feel the same.
Yeah, we feel the same, and we wanted to talk with her. We wanted to talk with her because she has such in her work she's dealing with a kind of quite a wide overview of design. So instead of being focused in a small area, again, she's a curator of kind of design as a whole. So it was very interesting to talk with her and ask her about the kind of current situation of design merging with other disciplines and kind of like what in the end. This is something that everyone kind of knows, or at least acknowledges that this is a kind of a basic, or at least one of the ways to define the difference between design and art. And we thought it's really clearly, like nicely and clearly put the difference between design and art when we try to think about it. This is something to reflect on.